right? So you all know how to close gaps. Very easy way to do it. You just right-click the gap and hit close gap, right? You cannot close a gap if there's anything blocking its path. So this is not a gap that you can close, right? There has to be a clear pathway in audio and video. Cool. Snapping, what does that mean?
When you just put two clips together and snap.
Yeah, right? So a snapping button is here, right? This button right here. Everyone see that? Right next to the link, unlink button.
Yeah.
Snapping tool is really helpful to be put on because it helps to prevent overlap of clips, right? So if my snapping tool was off and I try to put a clip next to each other, it doesn't just snap into place and I run the risk of overlap or not having it perfectly sandwiched next to each other. However, if my snapping tool was on, it snaps right into place. Does that make sense? So I would say just try to make sure that your snapping tool is on just to make things easier for you. Transitions. How do I create transitions?
You can go to effects and then drag down whatever transition you want off of the clip.
Okay, so even before that, I have to make sure I click on my in between the clips that I want a transition. Then I go to effects, video transitions, and I choose whatever transition I want, right? Now, what do I need to make sure of before I have a transition? So if I have two master clips and I want to transition between the very end of one master clip and the very beginning of a master clip, and my transition does not work. So for instance, if I want to do one of these numbers, so if I have two clips and they are, so if I have two clips and it's the very end of one clip and the very beginning of another clip, and I'm having a difficult time getting a transition there, why would that be?
Maybe they're on snaps with it.
No.
It doesn't have enough time to like sample. Like if you wanted to start fading right at the end, it doesn't have anything to start fading if the video already ended. So
Right.
you need enough time. You need like a buffer of like a second or two.
Yeah, so what
Before you end.
transitions begin just like a couple frames before you actually want it to happen. So if you have the very end of a clip or the very beginning of a clip, there are no frames before or after that Final Cut Pro can take from for the transition. So it won't be successful. So just to let you know, just like a little thing, just so you know. Filters, how do I put a filter on?
They just click the thing first.
Click the thing and then I go to Effects, Video Filters, and choose something, Glow, why not, Dazzle. And then I can customize the filter, right, by double clicking on the clip and go into the Filters tab and I can customize it, right? So I can change the amount of the glow, double clicking. I can change the amount of the glow, the brightness of the glow, of the image, you know, the angle of the glow, spike count, all of that kind of stuff, right? So once you put the filter on, you can customize the filter. Any questions about that? Cool. Titles, how do I create a title? You all will need to know this. How do I create a title?
Viewer, go to the A,
Yep.
and then text,
Yep.
and then you whichever kind you want.
Yep, excellent. So if I click on my text, then I do what?
You have to we have to write it first. So you go to
Go to where? Nope.
Not motion.
Look at y'all.
Controls.
Controls, yep.
You write what you want to write.
Hello, Ezra.
And then after that, you take that and you drag that down.
Exactly. Cool.
So if you want to, the ones where you want to create, if you wanted to create one of the title thing before all of your clips, are you supposed to like insert a blank clip or it automatically gives you the black background like that?
I have a quick question.
I'm sorry, wait, let me try to, you said how would you insert
Okay,
title in
like
the beginning?
a title clip.
A title. So you would
Maybe
just
I'm
create your
asking a stupid
title.
question.
She's saying like this.
So I don't understand. Okay.
It's gonna go over the video, right? So it's gonna be like you're gonna see the video in the background and that. But like she's saying, like if you just want like a black screen and like a title, like at the beginning of the thing.
Okay, so you can actually, if you want a black screen,
Basically, wait, how you creating the footage, right? Is that what you're saying? Like you already have your video. How do you get in that space before
and then
it
how do you
starts?
put a text? So if you already
Yeah.
have, so how do you like create space for your text?
Right.
Okay, so once you create,
And
your
I did it already for our project, but I don't remember how I did it.
right, so you can just hit this insert button, this yellow insert button at the bottom, and it pushes everything over, so it creates
Okay.
the text. Is that answering your question?
I don't know, I'm gonna try it and see.
Is that what she asked?
I think so.
Okay. I think that's what you asked, right? How do you create space for a text that you created? So once you create your text, right? So once you create your text and you're like, oh crap, I want to push everything over so I can have my slate, for instance, at the beginning. You create your text and then you just hit this insert button and it creates space.
Okay.
Is that what you were asking?
Kind of sort of in a different way. But yeah.
Okay. If I'm not
Yeah,
understanding,
that's
please
just-
let me know. Okay. Please let me know though. So slugs, right? How to create a slug?
Click on the A again and then go to slug.
You click on the A and go to slugs, right? Oops, slug. And then drag it in. You can also, if you, you can also right click. I'm sorry?
What is this? Can you show me that?
In the view.
Yeah, the slug is just a black.
Okay, in the view. Okay, slide.
And so you can create a slug by, in the viewer, you can click on that A button and then go to slug. And it shows up in the viewer under
Viewer
video.
slide? Okay. Gotcha.
And then it should show up in the viewer under the video tab.
Video.
And then you just drag it in wherever you want it to be.
So I'm sorry.
You can just use the yellow insert button too.
Yeah, you could use the yellow, and so if you can go to the A tab and go to slug. You can also use this yellow insert button on the bottom left of the canvas.
Once it's created or is it created?
It's created.
I mean, use the yellow insert button to create it or use it once it's created?
Use it to create it.
Oh.
And put it where you, and it automatically moves everything over to create space for it.
So when you hit the yellow insert button, it just makes it slow.
It makes a slug. Unless you have text, right? So if you just made a text and you haven't dragged the text down
Yeah.
yet,
So-
and
so
you hit the
right
yellow
now,
insert
it's
button, it's going to pull down the text.
Okay. So at any given time, I didn't make text, it's just everything's done. When you hit that yellow button, it's gonna be slow.
It's gonna make a slug.
Call it slow.
Yes, you could call it, or it's the insert button. Or you could right click, if you have a space in between clips, right? You can right click and select fill with slug. Right click and select fill with slug. That's only if you have a gap. Does that make sense, Perrin?
I just made an extra long slide. It's cool. Yeah, I'm good.
You got it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes, sir.
Do we need to know how to put, like we did a slate with a title. What about just putting words on your video without, do we need to know that? Or?
Yes, you do. So that, to create, how would you have words on top of your video?
Put the text over the video.
Absolutely. So you would just put the text, So you would just put the text over the video. Like so. Right?
That's how I feel when I say yellow.
And so then you would want to move it, right? You would want to make sure your wireframe is on, and my wireframe is this third button in the canvas, and you would just want to make sure your image plus wireframe is on. And now you can move the yo or resize the yo.
Is it common to have a programming issue when you do this? Because last time I tried to put text in myself, I had a render issue. It wouldn't render. So what I did was I took out the text, saved it down normally, exported it, brought it back as one MOV, and I put the text on top of that once.
Why didn't you just render it?
because I didn't know how. It was just red and it wouldn't stop being red.
So that transitions us to how do you render? How do you render?
Command R.
You can hit Command R, there you go, your shortcut, or you can do it my way and go to sequence, render all.
Takes too long.
It does, the second and a half,
I did that.
yeah.
I clicked both, and it just became like a lavender purple type of thing, but it still wouldn't export.
It still wouldn't export.
Yeah.
I'd have to take a look at it, if it's lavender purple, then it should be good. But red, you won't be able to, you'll have problems. Do you still have the file?
I did it. I told you I did it. Like,
Oh, that's right, you
saved
did
all
do
the way
it.
down, but if it happens again, I'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know.
You should definitely save after you render, so here, sequence, render, and then save.
Yeah, you could, save it at all times. Yes, I agree. This is a really good, if you do not set your scratch disk and you render everything, right? When you open your project again, you would have to render it all over again, right? So that's another reason why you need to make sure you set your scratch disk, because it saves the render files. Every time you render, it creates a new derivative of your document. Cool? Rendering. Changing speed. How would I change speed?
You right click the video.
Right click the video,
Change speed. And then
change speed, and
Wait, right click what?
so you would right click the video, and you would go to change speed,
Did you even do it?
video in the timeline.
Oh,
In the timeline. Right click the video in the timeline.
you do for it too.
You can do it for audio too. And change the speed, put whatever rate you so desire. You can also go to modify change speed, or you're gonna like this one, you can hit Command J. Okay. So you can hit Command J, or you can right click, or you can go to modify change speed. Either one, that's where you go to if you want to also reverse the action or reverse the audio. Cool?
What was the third? There's Command R, Command J, right click.
Or you can go to modify change speed. Cool? Any questions about that? Awesome. We talked about reversing movement. All right, here we go. Keyframing. All right, I'm going to pull in a still image real quick. File, import, let's go with image 1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I promise you keyframing will be all over this midterm exam
Chop
quiz
is
test
screwed.
thing. So if I have an image, and how would I make it go? I'll make it come up, then diagonal, then spin 5 times.
Wait, say that again?
I want it to come up, then go diagonally to the left, and then spin 5 times.
First, you need to import an image. That's first.
Say that again?
First, you need to import an image.
First, you need to import an image. Yes, Karen.
No,
Well
I'm just
done.
saying, you know,
That's
just throwing it
yes.
out there. You know.
Wireframe.
That is a critical step.
You know.
Wireframe, add motion keyframe.
Make sure you have your wireframe. Okay, so I'm gonna actually before that I need to position my image where I want it to be, right? Before the beginning of the movement. So I want it to come up. So in order for it to come up, it needs to start from below, right? So I have to position it where I want it to be before the motion happens, and then take it away, Nicole.
Dun, 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 dun. And you go to. Sorry. You already push keyframe, yes?
Nope. I
Okay,
add the
so
keyframe,
you add your
and
keyframe.
then what do I do?
And then I'm going to assume then you're going to go to the next part of your frame where you want to start moving, where you want it to be in the frame. Like you go to the next, like you move forward through your. Can I stand up and do it?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not doing well describing. Okay. So then you're gonna choose, I guess, where you want it to appear in. If you want to go diagonal first.
Yeah. So I move my cursor.
Move
so
your cursor.
Let's say I move it there
Here.
because
Okay.
Okay.
And then you're going to take your image and put it the direction. No, yes, put it the direction where you want it to go diagonal.
Let's say there.
Okay. And then you're gonna do another keyframe.
Yes.
Okay, and then you're gonna move the cursor again, so you gotta pay attention to this class.
Yes, so let's say I wanted to move diagonally for this amount of
You're
time.
gonna go to the diagonal now.
Okay.
Mhm. And you're gonna click the keyframe again.
Okay.
Yes. And you said you wanted to do some spinning?
Yes.
Okay. In the same corner?
Yes.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is go in this corner where it's gonna have like a little loop-de-loop. And then you spin it however times you wanna spin it.
Even before that.
You're gonna click the keyframe, of course.
I did, but then I click the keyframe and I do what?
Wait.
You're gonna move
The cursor.
Move your cursor.
Yes.
Where you want all that to happen, of course.
Okay.
I thought you knew that already.
And then
And then you're gonna spin.
it's spinning.
Bam.
Bam. Let's take a look at Nicole's creation. Going up, going diagonally, and spin. Well done.
We get one right.
Does that make sense? So,
Yeah, that's.
so you have. I can't.
This is like part 2 of the quiz?
Yeah,
or
this is part 2.
This is part 2.
I guarantee you will need to know how to do multiple keyframes.
Real quick.
Yes, sir.
Like, okay, I know the starting part of that when I put it all away, but just that step with the purple dot.
We're gonna do it
that
again.
Okay.
We're gonna do it again. So you want us to do it again? Barry, you want us to do it again? Let's do it again. Okay, so this time,
When do you move the cursor versus the keyframe?
so I'm gonna have it start this small, and I want it to blow up, and then spin, and then move to the right. That's what I wanna do. Anyone wanna come up and explain how to do that?
Alright, can I try? Just-
Yes, let's do it, Vera. All right, so I want it to start really small. So what would be the first thing that I do?
So first thing to do is have the image keyframe and then, or wireframe, and then make it smaller.
Alright.
Okay.
So I have to make sure that it is sized and positioned where I want it to be before the movement happens.
Cool.
And then,
What do you want to make it bigger?
yes,
Okay, so move the keyframe.
yes, and then add a keyframe.
Then do you move the cursor?
Yes.
Okay. When you want it to be bigger.
So I move the cursor to the end of to where I want it to be, where I want us to be in the clip by the time the motion is done. So let's say I want it to be there, and then what do I do?
Make it bigger.
I make it bigger.
Then, okay. Then what do you want next? Spin it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Spin, okay. So keyframe again?
So you have your keyframe, so it's already on, and then
Okay, so move the cursor again. And then spin it.
and then I spin my rotating tool appears once I move my cursor to the edge of the box.
But now it's not green, so how do you know that the keyframe is still on there?
That's okay. So it's not going to be green after you move your cursor. And then I wanted, what did I say? Move to the left, I think, something like that. Move to the left. Yeah.
Okay, so move your cursor again. Oh,
Add a keyframe,
move the cursor again.
and then move the cursor to the end.
And then move that to the left.
Move it to the left. Cool? So the thing is that you add a keyframe every time you want a new motion, right? A keyframe is a point of motion. So I have 3 different motions, so I have 3 different keyframes, right? So it looks like this. Cool?
Then you always have to make sure to adjust before you put the cursor, right?
Yeah, so you'll need to know for yourself the exact duration of time that you want the movement to
Okay.
take place. You want the movement, yeah. Cool? Any questions about that at all? This will be all over the whatever you call it, Yes.
You don't have to hit the button when you do your first movement, right? You can go ahead and, because I know you made it smaller and you didn't hit the button.
Right, because my motion wasn't making it smaller, my motion was making it bigger. Yeah. Okay. No questions about, other questions about this? You sure? Okay.
Booyah.
So the other thing is that if you want to change speed, you know, you can double click and under motion, you know, you can change the speed, right? Right here. Yeah, so motion. So the split screening, how can I do a split screen?
Oh, that's a good question.
How can I do a split screen?
Put two images on top of each other.
Put two images, put two video clips on top of each other and then what?
Make sure, okay, select one of them. Make sure wireframe's on, and you have to shrink it.
So you can resize it by dragging the corners, right?
And then you just